exactly 45 minutes past the hour of 8 p.m. and it's yet another day for Select News. I come to you with plenty of current affairs and what's happening in the world of news. But before we go into the details, we'll take a look at the headlines and I'll be back with more.
Top on our stories: interest, not identity. Museveni speaks tough against tribalism and segregation as the Yellow Camp combs Bugisu region for votes. And Bobi Wine campaigns in Bundibujo, promises to end unemployment, riding on industrialization. In more news, HIV/AIDS registers a case surge ahead of 1st December, the day of commemoration. In the world of sports, Uganda Premier Charles Peter Mayiga flags off 2020 Masaza Cup tournament.
I welcome you once again to Select News on this 24th day of the month of November, the year 2020. I'll delve straight away into the details of tonight's Select News. The National Resistance Movement presidential candidate Yoweri Tibahaurwa Kaguta Museveni has today kick-started his campaigns in the Bugisu sub-region, where he spoke out against sectarianism and tribalism. Today he canvassed to districts of Bududa, Bulambuli, Manafwa, Mbale, Masindwa, Namisindwa and Sironko. Museveni from Bugisu will then head to Sebei as he continues with his eastern tour. We'll take a look.
After concluding the Teso sub-region, President Yoweri Museveni has today kick-started his campaigns here in Bugisu sub-region, meeting with 200 NRM leaders here at Mbale Secondary School. The president, in his message, came out and said that sectarianism and also tribalism should stop, especially among the people.
Now, the main problem was sectarianism. Si hulishene ukuyawulamo nga nisho shamira hubona kuri kufuna biyanga fubyo. The leaders, the tribal leaders, and also the political leaders did not diagnose the problem correctly.
The president also stated that there are also very big plans to develop Bugisu sub-region during his address.
So all the Vamasava must go to the hills to look for Malewa. You say, yeah, they can go and look, but they shouldn't stay there. The mountain is very dangerous. The mother should not be stripped naked, as I said. My masala should not be bukuma.
Bugishu is more united than ever before. The things we have done for our people talk for themselves and they are recognized. Your Excellency, you are going to be rewarded by a higher percentage of votes. Your Excellency, people want to hear your voice. Today is your day. And
after concluding his campaigns in Bugisu sub-region, Yoweri Museveni will have to proceed to Sebei. For Select News, I'm Suhail Mugabi.
Well, thank you very much, Suhail Mugabi, for that report. Of course, Suhail Mugabi is camped and following the events from the Yellow Camp. We shall be straight away moving on to yet another story, and this time around is from the Red Camp. NUP's party presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has today promised to develop the district of Bundibujo by building a factory for cocoa, which is largely grown in the area. According to Kyagulanyi, industrialization is the only cure to the rampant unemployment rates that the country is faced with mostly by the young people. We take a look.
The NUP party president, Robert Chagulanyi, has been stopped from accessing deeper parts of Bundibujo, where he was meant to address his supporters, forcing him to give a speech where he had reached in the outskirts of town.
Kuchoto live Kuchoto TV embe bazo gamanti ya onkenke nnyo wano bitundu bya Fort Portal wali hotel room ya His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert abasajja basuze eranga His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi.
People still turned out in large numbers, and by 1 p.m. the singer-turned-politician had started addressing the crowd. Chagulanyi mentioned that he was aware of the bad roads, poor healthcare and education systems in Bundibujo, and he promised to work on them once in power. Chagulanyi, in his observation, said that a cocoa-growing area like Bundibujo deserves a chocolate factory which he will put in place. He blamed the current government for causing division among Ugandans. Chagulanyi, who was given a shield and a spear at his arrival, asked people to vote him so as to have a youthful young president who will identify with their issues. He called upon the people to vote in large numbers and also safeguard their votes after voting. Chagulanyi promised a better Uganda with better services as he left with crowds cheering at him. Carrot Mwine for Select News.
Well, as of to whether Robert Chagulanyi will deliver on ending unemployment through that particular factory there of chocolate and creating employment to the young people through that particular avenue or not, we can only wait and keep our fingers crossed to see if that can actually be delivered. And I can guarantee you that only Ace TV can promise and deliver on bringing you all the events in current affairs, balanced and unbiased news. Moving forward from the red camp, we do move to the blue camp, and thus FDC. Two Forum for Democratic Change supporters lost their lives instantly at Panyamul Hill on their way to Pakwach district in a nasty car accident that led to the cancellation of Amuriato boy Patrick's campaign in the region. Amuriato's PA is reported among those that were in the vehicle that overturned several times, killing 2 on the spot and other 15 gravely injured. We'll take a look.
Early this morning, FDC's Patrick Oboy Amuriat was welcomed by his supporters in Parambo, where he managed to officiate another FDC office in the region.
Honorable MP, Irene Gitola, you're most welcome. Agwok. Mr. President, we might like the commission to my warabare. So, the water attended Nano, or Jack Woto.
The office unveiling was then proceeded by speaking to his supporters in 2 venues.
One Uganda, one people. To give you good roads, give you healthcare, give you education. They have failed to provide water to the community.
He was further led by his supporters on Afuso as he climaxed his campaigns in Nebi heading to Pakwach. The excitement was not, however, long-lived. On receiving the sad news from Panyamur Hill, where 2 FDC supporters met their death on spot and scores moving away with serious injuries. Casualties were carried away on FDC vehicles and police cars to Angel St. Luke Hospital. This forced FDC's presidential candidate to cancel Pakwach campaigns in honor of the lost souls, a tribute to casualties and their families.
Who have died, perished in this calamity. I think it's really very sad, and we offer our condolences to the families and also commiseration. And we have a number of casualties that have happened. 2 are confirmed dead members, and many others are injured, some critically injured, and so we're trying to see how to rush them to Amal hospital so that their lives could be saved.
According to civilians of Panyamur, the hilly road to Pakwachi is very dangerous and many have lost their lives since the year of 1998, where many lost their lives from the same spot. Locals called upon UNRWA to run to their rescue by responding promptly to the unfortunate incidences. Husna Afet, Shamira Nagawa, Select.
Well, we do condole with those that lost their lives, and of course to the families of the aggrieved, our hearts are with you. But also to those that did sustain serious injuries, it's a quick recovery, and we do wish that you go through the entire trying moments safely and your recovery and get back to your feet and on your campaign trail very soon to see that the Blue Camp continues, but also to make sure that you continue with your campaigns ahead of the 14th day of the month of January 2021, when Ugandans will be delivering a verdict and casting their ballot on who should be President of the Republic of Uganda. Will it be the Blue Camp's Patrick Oboya Moriat, or the Red Camp's Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, or even the Yellow Camp's Yoweri Tibahaburwa Kaguta Museveni retaining? That's it. Select News will take a short break and do return shortly afterwards.
You're watching STV, Select for Fun.
You are welcome to the High School Apprentice Season 1.
The next task, it's more of a sports task. 1,000.
We've messed up. Been selling at a lesser price.
I'll start off with you. I need 2 names from your team of people who did not perform.
We are aiming all to win.
Hey guys, you're watching STV, Select for Fun.
If you're just joining us, it is Select News that you're watching. My name is Elijah Tudiagmanawa, and you can stream us on all our social media digital platforms. Talk about Facebook, but also on Twitter. We're active there, and Instagram. So you can join the conversation of Select News and current affairs and news in general, and engage with us on the various current affairs details that we do avail to you on your screens. I'll be moving straight away to more Select News stories tonight. Youth that support the ruling government have today shared their views on the incidences that happened last week, which led to the loss of lives. Led by Ashraf Kato, commonly known as Ashbag Kato, they have called upon youth to be peaceful. We have more.
Youths that support the ruling government have today shared their views on the incidents that happened last week, which led to loss of lives.
Right now, right abona, Honorable Chagulanyi Sentamu is the greatest enemy of our country. Whatever he says is hate. He's spreading hate. He wants war. He's dealing with the wrong people. Robert Amsterdam can't say something good on Uganda. Robert Amsterdam doesn't talk about Uganda more than me, Ashbag Kato, who is a Ugandan living here. Robert Amsterdam can't say that Uganda is bleeding. When Ashbag, I'm saying, no, Uganda is not bleeding.
Led by Ashraf Kato, commonly known as Ashbag Kato, they have called upon youth to be peaceful in this situation.
My fellow youth, I'm calling you, please. You can still support your Bobby Wine, you can support BSC, you can support any UP, but don't fight with anyone, don't riot, don't demonstrate, don't kill your brother, don't kill your father, because you might also get killed.
They also called for a national prayer from religious leaders, since the situation may be going out of control.
Omuntu bwe beekalakaasa n'okuwagira bagenda kukuba ekikonde babbesitoko yenna ey'amasimu ate nga bakuggyeemu n'eriiso. Tutegedde okuba abeegendereza. Nsaba abasumba bwenna mu ggwanga lya Uganda nga mwegatta nga muyingira mu State House okufuna ssente bwe mba mwegatta musome musabire eggwanga.
Ashraf Kato has warned youth against the notion that these politicians care about them.
If you don't open your eyes, we're gonna die all. If you don't open your eyes, we're gonna die for nothing. The truth is, these politicians are just using you, they're just using us. You will never see any of their son demonstrating. You will never see any of their wives, your brother, Nani, on the streets. But they will call you to go on the street. Why? Because they want you to die.
Attacking the armed officer in a uniform is risky. This can be termed as attacking the government, Kato added.
Policemen, they have order to shoot if you attack him. He will shoot you and he will go away with it. You will die, but when it will not matter. It will not matter. Will not bother. So your life first. Uganda first.
Last week, it is estimated that over 40 people lost lives and many are still nursing wounds, business lost, many have been distracted due to riots that happened. Hasif Sechunga for STV.
Interesting story right there from Ashbag Kato, speaking very vocally against violence. Well, we do continue with more details on Select News tonight. With a few days to the annual Kabaka birthday run, Mengo Hospital today has given the Kingdom of Buganda an early birthday present in the form of an ambulance. This is to offer services to the people of Buganda. We have the details.
At a function held at Bulange Mengo, the hospital directors and staff delivered an ambulance to the Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga.
Eddwaliro ly'e Mengo naffe wano tuli ba muliraano. Era ekyamazima era tulina ba Luganda. Era buli lwe tuba n'enteekateeka zonna Mengo Hospital ezeetabamu guno si gwe gusoose bulijjo tubeera nabo mu nteekateeka zonna ez'ebyobulamu naye ne mu nteekateeka endala zonna ezizimba Obwakabaka.
Leader of the delegation, Dr. Rose Mutumba, applauded the organization of the Kabaka birthday run, attributing it to health benefits for those that will likely participate.
Ambulance mu Mengo Hospital, nga naffe nga Mengo Hospital twenyigidde misinde egigenda okubeerawo ku Sande nga tujaguza amazaalibwa ga Ssaabasajja Kabaka era nga twenyigira okulaba nga tweyongera okujjanjaba abalwadde ba siriimu. Tweyanziza nnyo tweyanziza.
The ambulance will transport and treat the sick and injured during the run and thereafterwards stay within the Buganda Kingdom. The Kabaka Birthday Run is an annual run organized by Buganda Kingdom to celebrate the birthday of His Majesty Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, the Kabaka of Buganda Kingdom. The King's birthday proceeds from the run in 2020-2022 will go towards fighting HIV/AIDS in Uganda. Kabaka Birthday Run is targeting to set a new running record in Africa of 60,000 runners. Kara Tumwine for Select News.
Thank you very much for sticking with Ace TV in more health reports. As the world continues to suffer from the many COVID-19 after effects not sparing any country or sector, many people are no longer mindful of the other illnesses such as HIV/AIDS and others. This has seen a surge in the numerical statistics of the people registered with the HIV/AIDS virus due to recklessness in the mode of the viral transfer mode.
1st December, Uganda joins the entire world to celebrate World AIDS Day amidst the fight to end HIV and AIDS in the country, a target set for 2030.
You informed us that the HIV prevalence has reduced from 18% in the 1990s to the current 6%.
Esther Mbayo, Minister for Presidency, while addressing the media at the media center, said the annual commemorations will be held under a considered theme, come together to end the spread of HIV. She says although the government has tried to end the spread of HIV, it is still spreading on a high rate and many are still suffering out of limited information concerning the virus and recklessness among the populace, as she explains.
Uganda AIDS Commission kubanga erimu Office of the President okutambuza message ya President mu bitundu ebya Uganda ebyenjawulo ngera tutegeeza abantu tibannaye bulwadde gye buli bukyaluma. Njagala okwebaza abatuyambyeko mu nsonga eno. Parliament ekoze kyamaanyi nnyo okutuyambako mu kulwanyisa obulwadde bwa mukenenya.
She appreciates the religious leaders and cultural leaders for the struggle they have put up to end through HIV/AIDS.
Njagala okwebaza cultural leaders ne traditional leaders ne aba religious leaders nti batuyambye nnyo okulaba nti babuulira enjiri kubanga bwe tuba nti bwe twakiteeka mu bannaddiini bagezaako nnyo nga okubuulira abantu nti obulwadde bwa mukenenya gye buli
As we approach the end of year festive season, she advised that as people celebrate, it's important to celebrate carefully as they remain health conscious.
Tugenda mu biseera eby'eggandaalo festive season ebiseera by'eggandaalo bino abantu balegeza nnyo buli omu n'akola ky'aba yagadde. Abantu benyigira nnyo mu bikolwa by'okwegadanga nga tebeeteeseteese oba nga tebakoze eki tebeekebezza. Njagala okubategeeza nti ebiseera by'eggandaalo bireme kutwala sense zammwe oba okutegeera nti obulwadde bwa HIV/AIDS gye buliyo.
World AIDS Day will be celebrated from the State House in a scientific way against COVID-19.
Njagala okubategeeza nti olunaku lwa okukuza obulwadde bwa mukenenya olw'ensi yonna lujja kukolebwa ennaku z'omwezi nga lumu omwezi gwa Desemba omwaka guno 2020 mu ngeri gye tuyita ekinasayansi. Luli tubadde tuyita abantu bangi nnyo okuva mu Uganda yonna oba okuva mu nsi endala, naye olwa COVID-19 tekijja kusoboka. Tugenda ku inviting abantu batono nnyo okubeerawo nga tukuza olunaku.
Maria Dana Namiro, STV Select News.
Well, we'll continue casting an eye on our health sector. The Ministry of Health, through the Minister for Primary Healthcare, Dr. Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, has opened up a discussion on addressing the impact of COVID-19 within the public healthcare system. It's very evident that COVID-19 has had magnitudes of ramifications on the public health system. Our reporter, Maria Diane Namiro, was at the Uganda Media Center and now reports.
Dr. Joyce Moriku, while addressing the media, attributed the increase in COVID-19 cases to people underlooking the reality and truth about the disease.
To date, we are reporting on average 1,900 cases weekly, emerging from 127 districts in the country. Where we are, Kampala continues to account for the bulk of all the cases we have. 1/3 of all cases nationally comes from Kampala.
Since 18th March 2020, when the first COVID-19 case was registered, more than 1,000 doctors got sick, while 10 succumbed to the disease.
To date, we have registered 1,238 confirmed cases of COVID-19 among health workers. Out of this number confirmed, unfortunately, we have lost 10 healthcare workers. The Ministry of Health, therefore, continue to prioritize safety of health workers. Some of the interventions will include to intensify risk communication on infection prevention and control measures within hospital settings.
She, however, said that both international and local medics are working tirelessly to create the antivirus.
I may not give the details as of today, but the next update I should be in position to give where we've been, how far we have reached, and where we are going in terms of vaccine for Uganda. But what I can inform the public is that there is hope that vaccine is on the way coming.
She expressed disappointment in politicians who are not following COVID-19 guidelines.
The issue of campaign during this time, we cannot overemphasize. People are indisciplined. People have actually forgotten about their lives. People have forgotten about their health. They have forgotten that life takes priority. Instead of protecting yourself, instead of taking precaution, people forget that tomorrow I may get disease and I die.
She advised Ugandans to follow laws and guidelines on COVID-19 so as to avoid a disaster of death in the country as never seen before like other countries.
Immunity. By the time you come to the hospital, by the time you come for a test, it's not as early as previously when we started this pandemic. Many people come when the disease is at a later stage. That is why the progression to severe cases are too many. That's why people come late.
Worldwide, a total of 59.3 million cases have been recorded. 38 million people have been recorded as recoveries, while 1.4 million deaths have so far been registered. Maria Dana Namiro, STV Select News.
Well, Joyce Moriko Kaduchu, the minister in charge of primary healthcare, right there. It breaks my heart to hear that 10 healthcare workers did actually succumb to the COVID-19 pandemic, combating it. At the same time, these were the people that were at the forefront of fighting COVID-19 and seeing that they safeguard the people of Uganda, and actually they did lose their lives in the process. Well, straight away I'll be looking at COVID-19 and how Uganda is performing in terms of numbers that have been availed to us by the Ministry of Health, the various tests that have been made, but also how many cases have been registered. Looking on the 23rd day of the month of November, that was yesterday, where 241 new cases were registered, and the cumulative active cases in Uganda stood at 18,406. Then the cumulative total number of deaths as of yesterday were 186, with 5 new cases that were registered as of yesterday. And of course, the cumulative recoveries stood at 8,764, and the total number of samples that the Ministry of Health has so far carried out in the country stood at 613,908. Well, that's how Uganda particularly is performing as far as the COVID-19 pandemic is concerned. But also, we do encourage you to keep washing your hands, keep the social distance, and also make sure that you wear that mask or a face guard. Well, it seems that the country is stuck between a hard place and a rock, looking at the election period and the campaign season, where various aspirants are traversing the country to garner for votes, but also the necessity of staying safe against COVID-19. Well, Select News takes another break. The second break had that, and we shall return shortly afterwards. Stay with us. Well, thank you very much for sticking with us. It is the business segment on Select News, where we'll bring you updates on matters influencing money making. Uganda's collective investment scheme, CIAS, has recorded more than double their assets under the management of AUM to 388.5 billion Ugandan shillings for the financial year 2019-2020, as a result of an increase in the number of local investors embracing the product. This signifies a 123% surge in assets held under the CIAS compared to the previous year. Latest data from the Industry Regulatory Capital Markets Authority did indicate.
CIS are investment products that give investors opportunity to pool savings with those of other investors, thereby creating a large pool of funds to be invested on their behalf by professional managers. These include, but not limited to, savings and credit cooperative societies, local individuals, investment clubs, institutional investors and local companies. Those CIS are structured either as unit trust schemes or investment companies with variable capital. All CIS in Uganda are structured as unit trust schemes that are managed by unit trust managers such as UAP, Old Mutual Financial Services, Xeno Investment Management and Britam Asset Management Company. Keith Kaliejera, the Chief Executive Officer at CMA, said the investor accounts held by CIS managers increased from 5,222 to 8,904 during the period under review. However, the CIS contribution towards the gross domestic product stood at 0.03%, with a contribution to the economy very low compared to Kenya and Morocco, whose CIS asset contribution to the economy stood at 0.7% and 44.8% respectively. CIS have in the past 5 years recorded a 77.7% rise in asset from 21.9 billion Ugandan shillings in 2015-2016 2016 to 388.5 billion in 2019-2020. Latifa Hamid for Select News.
In more business updates, the Senior Presidential Advisor on Diaspora Affairs, Ambassador Abe Walusimbi, has asked Ugandans living abroad to utilize the several opportunities in the Uganda agricultural sector through investing in the Ugandan economy. Walusimbi made the call during the closure of the one-day Ugandan Diaspora Agri-Food Investment e-commerce organized by the Diaspora Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In the department, in partnership with FAO and the Uganda Agribusiness Alliance, UAA. Well, those are the updates that we did have for you in the world of business tonight with Select News. And we shall straight away be moving on to our sports segment and what is happening in the world of sports. The Uganda under-20 side put up a resilient performance in their goalless draw against South Sudan. The Hippos made their numerical disadvantage count after defender Musa Ramadan saw a red card for an off-the-ball incident, and South Sudan looked the better side on the day, using the extra man to cause a couple of problems in front of the goal. But the Hippos stood tall. We have more.
The Uganda under-20 side put up a resilient performance in their goalless draw against South Sudan at the Amri Abeid Memorial Stadium in Arusha, Tanzania yesterday. The Hippos made their numerical disadvantage count after defender Musa Ramadan saw red card for an off-the-ball incident in the 36th minute in their opening game at the AFCON under-20 zonal qualifiers. South Sudan looked the better side on the day and used the extra man to cause a couple of problems in front of goal, but the Hippos stood tall. Bobo Sibyaruhanga produced the Hippos' best chances in front of goal. Midway through the first half, his curling effort from a free kick was kept out by Justin Simon Peter in the South Sudan goal. Daniel Wall had the best chance of the game with 9 minutes to go, but glanced his header over the crossbar from Daniel Taban's cross. The Hippos will play its second and final group game against Burundi on Wednesday, November 24th, with maximum points needed if they are to secure progress to the next round. Only 2 slots at the AFCON under-20 finals are available for the Sekafa region, with the 2 finalists earning direct tickets the tournament duel in Mauritius in 2021. Tini Rukabwe, STV Select Sports News.
Well, we do continue with what's happening in the world of sport. The Buganda Kingdom Annual Regional Football Tournament, the Masaza Cup, has been officially opened up for commencement. We have more.
The annual Buganda Kingdom Regional Football Tournament, the Masaza Cup, was officially opened up today morning. At the ceremony held at the Mengo Palace at Bulange, the guest of honor was the Prime Minister of Buganda, Charles Peter Mayiga. In his words, he thanked the various sponsors and the organizing committee for the tournament.
And I welcome everybody else, Immaculate from Centenary Bank, and all the other sponsors, including PUFA. I said that one of the biggest resources Uganda has is sports.
He also talked about the importance of sports to the youth of the kingdom and how sports has become a unifying factor for Uganda.
Big resource because it is premised on talent. And in most situations, when you discover your talent and put it to use, you become very, very resourceful. You become very difficult actually to compete against, because natural ability, coupled of course with training
and passion.
The Minister for Sports in Buganda Kingdom, Honorable Henry Sekabembe, talked of the Masaza Cup despite the outbreak of COVID-19 in the country.
Sports. One may wonder as to why big establishments like Airtel, Centenary Bank, UNAIDS, FUFA, and all others may have taken a hard but befitting decision to partner with the best traditional institution.
The Masaza Regional Tournament has been played for the last 16 years, since 2004, and the defending champions are Bulemezi, who won the trophy in 2019 and thus returned it to the organizing committee to be competed for in 2020. Gomba are the all-time Masaza winners with 4 titles, followed by Mawokota with 3 titles, and the tournament will be played at the Fufanjeru Technical Center under strict COVID-19 guidelines.
Why? Abawulembezi bwe batyo bakwasa olukiiko bagenda okukwasa olukiiko.
At the end of the ceremony, the Prime Minister of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, opened up the 2020 tournament officially. Saika Yasin Sekalala, Tini Rukabwe, STV Select Sports News.
Well, we do continue with more in the world of sports. For the big fans of WWE, I used to be a big fan of wrestling before I got busy. Undertaker was given a touching send-off from WWE at Survivor Series, ending his glittering career. The 55-year-old had already shut the door on his active in-ring career following his epic win over AJ Styles back in the ring, saying he had no desire to wrestle again.
The Undertaker was given a touching send-off from WWE at Survivor Series, ending his glittering career some 30 years after it was first born with its 1990 debut at the same event. The real-life Mark Calloway donned the iconic black hat and coat one more time to say farewell. The 55-year-old had already shut the door on his active in-ring career following his epic win over AJ Styles back in the ring, saying he had no desire to wrestle again. Now he looks to have ridden off into the sunset with an unrivaled career and the ultimate send-off behind him. WWE brought back some big names from Taker's past for the final farewell, joining the likes of Jeff Hardy, The Big Show, Shane McMahon, The Godwins, Kane, and Triple H, all of whom have battled with or against The Undertaker across the last 3 decades. Then and there was the moment the fans expected the ceremony to be interrupted by an upcoming star from 2020 who would emerge to take down the dead man, so try to shine in the spotlight one last time. Tini Rukabwe, STV Select Sports News.
Oh my God! The dead!
The Undertaker! Rest in
Well, thank you for being a wonderful viewer of Select News tonight with me, Elijah Tudiagmanoa. You can continue with the conversation on all our digital platforms. That's at STV Uganda on Twitter and STV Uganda on Facebook, and my personal social media handles, Elijah Tudiagmanoa, both on Twitter and Facebook, but also on Instagram. Well, tonight on this particular news telecast, I'll give tribute to the main man that makes everything happen at STV, and that is none other than SK Mbuga. Big ups. It's a good night.